talking about getting involved, of course, something happened on Saturday. Of course, the four continents were able to beat South Africa by 2-1. That's walking on a tight rope, a very tight one. Because we talked about South Africa last week on the way they're actually trying to develop women's football and all that they're growing. So usually you think when they're coming here, we're going to beat, Nigeria's going to beat them close to 4-5-0 or something. But we didn't get to experience that because right now, football across Africa is growing. So it was just a 2-1 and everyone is saying they're walking on the tightrope. And of course, Peter Dede wasn't really happy about the result. He wasn't satisfied with it. They felt maybe the second half they should have taken their chances. Judging from the fact that the goals came up in the first half. Of course, the one, she went the way as usual. She was the one who scored the first goal. Second goal, of course, more like a deflection. And the third one, a penalty when South Africans had to equalize. They just couldn't, they just couldn't keep on with it. So that consolation goal that the South Africans got is actually,
it's massive.
It's massive for them. And the second leg is going to be 7th of November. 2 weeks after this week, the other 4 weeks. So we'll just see what's going to happen in that one. See if they can actually play tickets. Remember, they've always qualified for this tournament, so they've never missed out since its inception.
And we've always done well. Twice we've been in the final, lost to the same team. I'm hoping when we get the chance the third time we'll defeat them. But we have to qualify first.
We have to qualify first. And South Africa breathing down our necks.
That's it on screen for you. We're concerned about Africa, and let's also tell you we are more concerned about Nigeria. That's it on your screen. Cecilia just told you 2-1, very slim victory for the Falcons.
But what do you have to say about the other one? Ethiopia against Ghana.
I expected it.
I didn't expect it.
You expected that?
No. In fact, forgive me if I say that I expected the Ghanaians to go and win because I really don't fancy Ethiopia. And now, look, they are in a better position than Nigeria. They've scored 2 crucial away goals, and it was a draw. All they need to do is to lock shop, and I trust the Ghanaians. They're not going to lock shop. They're going to,
come out.
But then again,
if Ghana can go to Ethiopia and get a draw, what stops Ethiopia from going to Ghana and getting a win?
If you're looking at it, it looks like the pendulum has shifted. It happens in a football game. If a team equalizes, it just looks as if everything changes and it spoils them on. Now this result favors Ghana because they know, as simple as a goalless draw,
will pull them through. But they're playing at home. They're playing at home advantage is definitely there.
They get the chance to play without any bother.
I think they're in a better position.
I really would have thought that Ghana would go to Ethiopia, and it would just be a stroll in the park.
I talked about women's football growing in Africa.
Exactly,
everyone is coming. Could you have imagined if we were talking about teams that will go to Olympics next year? Would you have even mentioned Zimbabwe? You wouldn't have. So you're having teams right now.
I'm not a betting person, but I'll put my money that Zimbabwe will not. I would have put my money if someone had told that Zimbabwe, no. Where you have Cameroon, Nigeria, Ivory Coast, Equatorial Guinea,
And the manner in which they qualify, it wasn't as if it was a kind of a small country that they defeated. You just look at that and it tells you, look, football is.
Yeah, I'm hoping our good luck in South Africa will continue because I must emphasize that we always seem to do well in South Africa. So I hope the girls will go there, get the result they need, and qualify for the 2016 FIFA Women's Under 20 World Cup, and will do well.
Oh, we'll definitely hope to get a connection to speak with Coach Peter Dedeo in the course of all of this to find out exactly how it went down in that game between Nigeria and South Africa. We'll definitely do that if he definitely comes on. But of course, let's just shift our attention away from that to talk about the Super Eagles. With this nomenclature of having to call them the home-based, or is it a Team B?
I said Super Eagles B.
Okay, Super Eagles B, whatever it is. The Super Eagles are the Super Eagles. Well, they've done the job. They went to Ouagadougou, got a goalless draw in a very feisty game. It could have ended. The pendulum could have swung in either way. But luckily,
it must be said.
Yeah, luckily they managed to escape that and a 0-0 draw. So they will be playing at the next African Nations Championship in Rwanda 2016. But what was the talking point for you guys, really, Yemi?
Well, a lot. The host, the defending champions, Libya will not be there.
Wow.
It's interesting because they won the last edition, so you want to see that. I was at some point, you know, when I was trying to get updates from that game, I heard that the Burkina Faso got a penalty.
Even got a penalty, yeah.
You know, you want to wonder if and what if doesn't count the football, but you want to wonder if they had gotten that penalty, what could?
I think Nigeria would have scored because they know that they are in a very dicey situation. I think they would have been able to score. Another thing is where you're having Bolan Salamoli starting from the bench. I was thinking they would have started him because of his contribution, you know, in the first game and all that, but yet they didn't. And well, and it's a good thing, and the most important thing is Nigeria gets to qualify. Next year they will be in Rwanda, so that is what is important. But I think they played a very good game. I didn't feel they actually went to Burkina Faso to go luxury.
No,
you know, I think they didn't do that. So they actually came out. They wanted to play, but the Burkinabes, of course, they were actually at their best because for them, all they needed to do was, if you can't score us, I mean, if we can't score, let's see if you don't have to beat us at home. I think they needed to
play for pride.
They were defensively solid on the day. That's what I heard. Well, let's see if we can bring to you. 14 teams have qualified, 13 teams with the host. So let's see if we can get that on screen for you, and just quickly see if we can, you know, talk about that. Host Rwanda will be there, or surely Nigeria joins. Okay, that's it on your screen. Let me quickly run through it for you. Of course, Nigeria, Morocco, Tunisia, Mali, Guinea, Republic of Niger, DR Congo, Gabon, Ethiopia, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Angola, and Uganda, making 14 teams. 2 slots still available. So that's it.
Cote d'Ivoire against Ghana, and of course Congo, Brazzaville. That's Congo, and not DR Congo, but Congo.
Ghana won the first leg. Travel to Cote d'Ivoire for the second game, and we'll see what happens between Cameroon and Congo, Brazzaville. But you look at the teams that qualify, it shows that African teams are now taking this competition seriously. Yeah. And we should give it the importance that it deserves.
We should, definitely, because you know, you can't get another replacement for a championship as this. When I say that, I'm speaking in terms of, you know, trying to get the home-based players playing in the local leagues, you know, to really improve themselves. You know, we have the Africa Cup of Nations, definitely, but you know, that is mainly it mainly suits the players playing outside of the continent. So we have a competition like this or a championship like this, you just want to, you know, put in everything you've got, and you know, kudos to CAF for coming up with this.
And by far, these are the best African football playing nations.
Presently,
you can't really. It would be a shame that one of
the Niger Republic there.
No, you see. Let's underline this. On the domestic level, if you call your foreign-based players, there might be a lot of difference between Nigeria and Republic of Niger. But when it gets to players from the local, from the domestic scene, and players, the gap. Sometimes they don't even be there.
No, I think it is, because if you check the way Nigerian football has grown over the years, I mean, Nigerian Professional Football League, it's growing every day. You know, there was something we talked about.
So how do you explain that we were not able to qualify for the first 2 editions? So it tells you that
because at that time, you know, Ayo talked about people, countries actually taking the championship seriously now. At day, they felt, okay, what's this all about? But later when they discovered that, look, anytime I get to have a chance to play here, I can even get a chance to play for the national team. So I think that's why players are not taking it seriously. They weren't taking it seriously like that before.
And by the way, it's still not yet recognized in the FIFA calendar.
Yeah.
So that's another thing.
I like this. I like this because it gives African players based on the domestic scene something to aspire for. And now, you know, you have a competition that is not controlled or influenced by European clubs. They are not going to tell you shift so to, you know, or it's not going to be watered down because maybe, for instance, Chelsea refuses to release, you know, a star player, and you know, but now, and you know, what I think the message also that CAF is passing is, if you develop your league, you develop stars.
You develop stars, so you won't have to start looking at...
You understand? And if these guys, you can keep them on the domestic scene by improving your league. Sooner or later, when these so-called foreign players, you know, at the dying twilight of their career, they can come back home
and also play and also get a chance to play for tournaments like this.
And you still have competitions like the CAF Champions Leagues, the the other domestic club cups. So it should also complement what is being done here.
Fantastic idea, and I hope that the LMC will key into this, raise the standard of our league. We are lucky to, I mean, some may not like me saying it, but we're lucky that we still have people like Bolaron Salami and all. I don't know how we were able to keep players with that quality in the league. But if you don't do something,
they don't want to go to.
If you don't do something,
countries where you ask people like Austin will be asking, do they play football there? They just want to go to a place whereby they feel wherever they're going to, it's going to be a very competitive league.
Exactly.
I think that's what they're actually targeting. So which for me is actually a bonus for those players who are doing that.
I just hope that because the challenge with this competition also is that the same set of guys you see in this competition, you will not see them again, because probably a lot of them would have traveled. But if the leagues, the standard is raised, you can have some sort of continuity.
All right, so congratulations to the Super Eagles again for getting the job done in Ouagadougou, Burkina Faso. So please go out there to Rwanda next year and do the nation proud. That's all we can say for now on the show. But definitely we will be keeping tabs on how they are preparing for the championship in the coming days, weeks, and probably months as well. So we have all our eyes viewed to the Super Eagles. That's the Team B, or the home base, depending on which.
Just say Super Eagles.
Okay, just say Super Eagles.
Just say Super Eagles.
All right.